Happy Tuesday, everybody. My name is Brandon Rosa, and welcome to the Xbox in 10 podcast. Normally, your weekly source of Xbox gaming news covered in around 10 minutes. However, today is a new and special exception to our weekly Monday news show, which we have done so for the last 190 consecutive weeks. Thanks to Capcom, I was provided with an early access review code for Monster Hunter Rise on my Series X. After playing for over 24 hours, Monster Hunter Rise is a game worth checking out and trying on Game Pass, and take that from a person who has never played a Monster Hunter game before. Now, as I expand on my thoughts and feelings with the game, some, including Capcom, may say I didn't play this game right because I did not play any multiplayer. For this kind of game, and honestly most in general these days, I just no longer like playing with random people online. I would want to enjoy this kind of experience with my friends. So whether you take that as I played this game wrong or it doesn't matter, I do think the single player experience, and this being my first Monster Hunter game, will give me a unique opinion on the game, and to that point, let's dig in. Monster Hunter Rise is a game where you can quickly see yourself losing hundreds of hours to, and it being the one game you play for a long time. There are endless quests, activities, systems, progression bars, levels, weapons, armor, and so much more to grind to keep you coming back for more. During my early mornings playing the game, I found myself getting lost in the grind and knocking out so many great podcasts along the way. It was the ever-constant grind of the game that primarily kept me coming back for more, continuing to earn levels to get more abilities to try and make new weapons and armor to more easily defeat monsters, and feeling my hunter get stronger along the way was quite a rewarding loop. For new players to the franchise as a whole, the game itself leaves a lot to be desired. There are some tutorials in the game, but all of the systems, main quests, activities, side quests, optional content, and all of the inventory management can quickly become overwhelming. As a new player, it was all becoming a deterrent to playing more, even though I was enjoying my time with it. At about the 4-hour mark, I reached out to the old YouTubes and greatly benefited from watching a couple of how-to videos specifically tailored to new players to the game and franchise as a whole. Now, I was very lucky in this instance in that the game launched on Nintendo Switch on January 12th in 2022, so there is a lot of content out there. I would strongly suggest before getting started, and or after the game's initial tutorials, to spend some time watching more videos and learning all about the intricate systems and mechanics this game has to offer. I think you will be thankful that you did. I think the game fully clicked for me after those lessons learned in the 8-hour mark. I started to feel more competent as a hunter. I mained the heavy bowgun weapon type after exploring all 14, and the gameplay just felt more natural to me being a big fan of shooters. As for the gameplay, if you're a big fan of frenetic shooters and action games like me, you may need to dial in your expectations of what Monster Hunter Rise has to offer. The wire bugs, which are a new addition to the Monster Hunter experience, do go a long way in being able to quickly move, maneuver, attack, and or counter during the minute-to-minute gameplay, but I still felt like I didn't have enough different ways of fighting all of the monsters that I would have liked. Maybe that was because I wasn't playing with others or didn't use the other weapon types, but still, it's just how I felt. I'd scout the large instance area to gather some buffs and supplies, identify the first combat arena my targeted monster was in, plan my attack with some bombs or traps, move in with some quick wyvern shot blasts, and then pummel away from a distance with all of my different ammo types. Rinse and repeat. That gameplay loop is the core of this experience, differing by your weapon type of course, but you do find yourself getting into a good rhythm of it all. Starting Kimura Village after each quest, talking to the different vendors to load up on supplies or craft new items, sending out mercenaries, training your palamutes and palicos, grabbing new quests, planning your attack on the monsters from the notes and heading out. Rinse and repeat. This is where the time loss happens. That loop and completing each quest can take about 20 minutes, but it makes you want to just keep going to unlock more and more, to progress your hunter, weapons, armor, abilities, buddies, more and more. That was the magic of Monster Hunter Rise. The magic certainly wasn't in the story for me though. It simply didn't do anything for me, and it was okay because it wasn't what I was looking for out of this experience. However, I was pleasantly surprised with the art direction, how good, in its own unique way, the game looked. Playing on my Xbox Series X with my LG OLED C1, I enjoyed the crispy 1080p 120 frames per second performance mode, and it felt great, and more importantly, ran great. To reiterate, I played all of my 24 hours alone in single player. I rolled credits on the main village quest content at 12 hours, progressed further in the game getting up to hub quest 5-star events, completed a number of Rampage special events, and got up to Hunter rank 5 before ultimately stopping as there are just too many games these days to play. If I had a group to play with consistently, would I continue playing? I think the simple answer is yes, even in this crowded game release window of 2023 that we are in. Doing the hub quest content and all the other activities this game has to offer, which is intended to be played with others, would really be something special for a group of friends. I think if you can find two that are interested in this game, this could be an awesome experience for your group to lose 100 hours together in. And that's what's so special about this release specifically. It's on Game Pass, so you have no excuse to at least try it together. Now, having not fully beaten the game, I'm not going to put a score on it, and I don't really believe in review scores anyway, so take this as a friendly review in progress and thoughts on a game played in a unique, single-player way from someone who had no experience with the franchise before. Because of this game, I was at least able to gain a perspective on one of the biggest franchises out there, and the future games will at least catch my eye, unlike they did before. I'm excited to see what's next in the franchise, to see if it's something I can convince some friends to join me on and lose tons of hours together. Thank you all for listening to a very special review episode of the Xbox in 10 podcast, and Capcom for supplying the review code. Normally, the Xbox in 10 podcast is your weekly source of Xbox gaming news covered in around 10 minutes. Every Monday, this podcast covers new game releases, the previous week's gaming news, and we all learn an Xbox-related fun fact together. This show is on YouTube and podcast services around the world, so please do me a favor. If you like the review, subscribe on your favorite podcast service, share it with your friends, and leave a positive review to help grow our show. Xboxin10.com, no numbers, is your quick source for links to all of our podcast destinations and social media profiles, which you can follow at Xboxin10. My name is Brandon Rosa. You can follow me on Xbox at Brosa93. I hope you all have a great week. Stay safe and keep on gaming.